The way your parents raised you may secretly block your success in business and life. And you can do the same to your children. In this video, we will dive into the 3 childhood patterns that hold people back. And the most importantly, using my knowledge from my master's degree in psychology and Gestalt therapy and many years of experience, I will tell you how to break free from them. Hello everyone, welcome to Psychology and Business. Let's dive straight to the point number 1, overprotection and controlling behavior. Sometimes parents have a lot of anxiety about their children and therefore they are very protective and controlling the environment and everything around the child. They can say something like, don't run there, you will fall. Don't touch it, you will break it. You're too young, don't make it, I will do it for you. So basically they give this feeling of anxiety and that the world is not safe to the child. And this child of a young personality can feel anxiety, like taken from parents, can feel helpless, anxious, and fearful of making mistakes. This personality grows without the possibility to take some risks, even the smallest one. So when this personality is old enough to go to business life, of course it holds back from some risky decisions because the anxiety which was integrated in very early days in life is still there and it built kind of the core of the personality. This fear of making independent decisions or to do something by themselves without parents, without mentors, without someone significant is very deep inside. What can we do here? Of course, the best would be to find a specialist for you. A psychologist, psychotherapist, maybe coach. But coaching does not work with the past. Psychotherapy does. So in this situation, it would be actually the best to go to the past and unpack those situations and understand what was the reason, what were the feelings of mother or father or other significant parents, relatives around, and how this integrated, and then to rewrite the whole story, going through the feelings and understanding of how exactly you can integrate the feeling of independence, of risk-taking, of the world is safe around me and I can experiment and try something in this safe environment of psychotherapy between you and a specialist. If you need support, just let me know. I do conduct these sessions and I help when people change their life. It's a slow process, but very powerful. Just find the link in the description, contact me, and we will make this journey together. Or, of course, you can find another specialist in the field closer to you, maybe in person in your city. Also works well. Besides Gestalt therapy, you can use cognitive behavior therapy, which would be focused on, I can do this myself, and then progressive, okay, not only this, but I can do that myself. So I can send email myself, I can discuss something with a client myself, I can set up the price myself, and then growing and growing and growing, building this confidence of what exactly I can do myself and which part of the world is already safe enough for me to experiment, and then starting from that experience to go further and expand the safety world around us. Childhood trauma number 2 is excessive criticism and high expectations. Parents could say something like, you could do it better. Why can't you do anything well enough? Why can't you do anything right? 4 stars is not acceptable, you have to receive 5. Basically, the message is, you are not good enough, you have to do better. This constant criticism leads to perfectionism, fear of failure, and low self-confidence, which altogether leads to very unsuccessful business life and life in general, which paralyzes actions in business and personal life, because constant self-doubts are never leading to success. So when this personality grows and becomes a businessman or businesswoman, and anyone around them will tell them that they did something wrongly, they will automatically fall back into the position of, I'm a helpless child and parents are attacking me and I cannot do anything, I'm not good enough. In this situation, a person will always think that someone who criticized them is basically their parent, that bad parent from childhood. And actually, by default, we all love our parents, but this channel of love is actually blocked by that critique. So there will be always mixed feelings of love and hate, of criticizing and protecting yourself and still yet self-doubting and kind of hating back because of this, them and yourself. It's a very difficult feeling. However, it is possible to work with that. Of course, the best approach would be to find a specialist. And once again, if you need support, just let me know. What would be the approach? The approach would be to build that good, supportive parent in your head. And yes, it takes time. And let's say in metaphorical way, if there is no leg, you cannot grow up a leg in psychotherapy. Yeah, we can grow a very good prosthesis. So the substitution of the leg, which didn't happen to be there, so that experience where you can actually step on that experience on someone who believes in you, if this didn't happen, we cannot substitute your childhood. Yeah, this is impossible, but we can build a very good substitution of that experience. So the past is of course not changeable, but we can change what you have now. So we can give you new experience right now in this safe environment by giving you trust and belief, because most probably this personality, by growing in these conditions, actually achieves a lot. And most probably that was the initial idea of parent, to not give enough so that person is still growing and trying to achieve more and more. Imagine the situation. It's a working day and someone criticizes you for something. Then what we do? In our head, we go to our understanding of how good we are and compare what we did and who we are to those words. When they are matching, we are like, hey guy, you are wrong. You have this bad experience. You are not good enough. You would compare what the person says with what you have in your head. And in your head, you are not good enough. And you will always think that that person is right. That person is basically the representative of your parent from childhood. So what we need is to rewrite the story in your head. Another exercise which you can do by yourself is to write down in what exactly you are not good enough. You are good enough by default, but whatever parents tells you or told you in your childhood, write it down and think what from that is actually constructive, and maybe you can, exercise more or eat healthier or whatever, because there is usually some percentage of helpful feedback from that. And what is wrong and you do not accept it and you don't take it. Yeah, so you write all the statements from your parents or someone other significant for you, and on the right column you write what you want to take from that. Okay, I agree, I will do this and that. You can even create action items. I will go to the gym, I will whatever. And write something, I do not accept that someone criticizes me about blah blah. So next time when someone at work tells you something which you already decided you will not accept, you know what to answer back. The childhood pattern number 3 is neglect or emotional unavailability. Parents can say something, I'm busy now, go play by yourself. Stop crying, it's not a big deal. Or stop crying, you are not a girl. Or if you are a girl, stop crying, only babies are crying, you are already big enough. Silence or the minimum response to any emotional needs, lack of emotional support, and absence of trustful relationship. This child feels lonely, unworthy, emotionally unseen, and confused about experiencing feelings. All of this leads to the low emotional intelligence, because the child cannot learn about emotions when those emotions are ignored. They were not named, they were not acknowledged. It's just impossible to have good emotional intelligence in this situation. There is difficulty in forming trustful relationship, actually everywhere, not only in business, but also in romantic life, in friendship, anywhere in personal life. In business, it would be also poor networking skills, forming and leading the teams. Of course, it makes success in business very difficult. So what can we do here? Of course, it is super important to go back again, to substitute, rewrite that experience, receive new experience instead of what we have, and to learn about emotions. So emotionally focused therapy would give you the opportunity to learn about naming emotions and expressing them, regulating your own emotions, and recognizing and somehow affecting emotions of others. If you notice that you have people like that in your team, you can also order the emotional intelligence training for the whole team or company or department, depends on the size, so that everyone from the team will learn it. In this case, it will boost the communication and overall success and achievement of the whole team or your company. I conduct these trainings by myself. You can find other specialists, or you can watch my video about emotional intelligence, where I give the examples of what exactly you can do. For example, to watch super good cartoons or read special books. So in general, it is very important for such a person to receive experience of someone who would accept them. So the best would be to have a psychologist or a psychotherapist who will give this experience of I accept you, I accept all of your emotions. And another approach would be to find people in your environment who can give this emotional support and with whom you feel more comfortable to open. And based on those feelings, I can trust to this specific person to extrapolate, to spread that experience to other people, to find what exactly I need to have in another person so that I can trust them. And of course, also you can learn separately about networking and about team building. So all the theoretical knowledge behind those activities. However, the most important and the root cause of the issue is in that feeling, and that feeling of I cannot trust, or I'm neglected, or my emotions are not interested to anyone, that is something to heal in the very first place. By learning your own emotions, you will understand emotions of others, and it will be easier for you to connect. And for that, you have to practice. For example, you can put the alarm clock for every 1 hour or 2 or 3 hours, or at least once a day in the end of the day, and write down all the emotions which you experienced from the last alarm clock. And by that, you will understand how many you have. The best would be to put it every 1 hour, because otherwise in the end of the day you can forget them. So I would put starting from 1 hour and then make it a bit longer and up to 1 day maximum, because otherwise you would already forget. Many early parenting strategies unintentionally create patterns of low esteem, fear of failure, perfectionism, dependency, or emotional suppression, which hinder business and life success. Psychotherapy heals that and gives new experience on top or instead of what we had in our past. In addition to psychotherapy, we can do other stuff. For example, today and now, I will recommend you a book. I have to admit in the very beginning that it is not very scientific. However, it gives you another perspective of why things are happening in the way they are happening. This book is Radical Forgiveness. It gives you another perspective on why parents are behaving in the way they are behaving. They did it in past, or they are still doing it, and the whole meaning why the situation happens and why we repeat the same patterns again and again until Gestalt is closed. If you recognize yourself in the patterns which I described in today's videos, you're not alone. I share more tools on emotional intelligence and psychology in business right here, so subscribe and let's grow together. And in the comments, tell me, which of these patterns do you see in yourself and how do you cope with them? Thank you for watching and see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.